Hello and welcome in what might be the last part. I still don't know 100% considering there is something that we forgot to do, as in the optional boss of the DLC, so that's what we're gonna try to do first, either that or the Orphan of Cause. But first, in order to do that, we need to return to the Hunter's Dream, as usual, in order to, teleport to the other location. It's something that we've been doing the entire time. Except after defeating Virgo's wet nurse, the Hunter's Dream is catching on fire. Now, don't worry, this doesn't mean that the location is inaccessible, it's just an aesthetic kind of thing. But it's basically symbolizing the end of the game. And we go to
Having a bit of a nightmare.
and if we go to talk to the playing doll, she will tell us this.
Good hunter, you have come. Dawn will soon break. This night and this dream will end.
Basically, it's almost actually dawn break, meaning that the dream or the nightmare is about to end. So it's basically to tell you the game is almost over, and Gehrman wants to talk to you on the backyard. So we will talk to him after we have dealt with the rest of the DLC.
Farewell, good hunter.
Yeah. So as you can see, I can still enter just fine, in the workshop. It's just again an aesthetic thing from the exterior. So instead, let's give you first another try at the Orphan of Cause and see if we can actually deal with it. Besides, again, it's the last that and the DLC boss is the last major thing that will happen anyway. So anyway, since, this part is gonna be publicized probably at the end of June, so a lot of things will have happened in the meantime, but I'm sure you want to talk about something that you've seen today.
Well, yeah, I suppose. What do you mean you announce a new Spyro game at a showcase I refuse to watch? Like,
because because
why would you do that to me?
Because the people who actually own Spyro currently are the one handling the showcase, unfortunately. Now, thankfully, the game is multi-plat to begin with.
Yes, I did see that. Yes, so, but
there is that at the very least.
No, I'm very happy and normal about this.
Of course.
Yeah, basically, audience, if you haven't seen the trailer, the new game is called Spyro A Realm Beyond. It's the second attempt we've had at a Spyro 4.
And apparently, from the little snippet of gameplay that they showcased, apparently it's open world to an extent.
Well, I've read interviews and such. It's been developed by the newly independent Toys for Bob.
Yes.
And they've said that, yes, there are a load of times where you can fly around the everywhere, but you can also just land wherever you want. It's not just you just fly all over. And
it's not Microsoft Flight Simulator Dragon Edition. I get it.
Yeah. It does have the usual stuff where you can, do stuff on the ground.
A bit similar to an extent to the third Legend of Spyro game.
So yeah, all we know so far is that there's a trailer, Toys for Bob are making it, Tom Kenny Spyro again in it.
And really?
There's a villain with a crystal, of course, staff.
Yeah. And
I did see that there are interviews and stuff around, but I haven't had a chance to look at those yet.
And that's all we know so far. It comes out next year at some point next spring.
Same release window as the third part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is actually now called Revelation. Now, honestly, I had time, speaking of that, I had time to ponder about... possibly the significance of the title and everything, and to be fair, it kind of makes sense, because I keep forgetting about this, but Revelation is the English name that is given to the book, oh my god, yeah, I'm so rusty with this guy, to the book of John about the Apocalypse, because in my country it's just called the Apocalypse. So, considering it's all about the end of world, the summoning meteor and everything, yeah, it kind of makes sense. And maybe they want to have a double meaning where the revelation is about plot revelations about, the true identity of Cloud and stuff. So, again,
And like religious symbolism in games like this, it does make sense.
we shall see exactly what they're planning, because the little snippet from the trailers are mostly about the first half of what the game should be about. Again, medieval, Wutai, and the Northern Crater, mostly. So
I had a message from one of my friends this morning, because one of her friends is playing through 7 for the first time through the remake.
okay.
And she apparently saw the latest trailer and noticed a missing party member.
Yeah.
And was like, "Oh, did they take her back?" And
Um,
Han, we don't know how to
somebody
tell
took her
you.
back.
I mean, that's the thing. The
Oh,
Reaper
God.
fans in such a way that I cannot even give you a straightforward answer on that matter. Let me put it also this way. People have quickly noted, though, that in the party screens, that there is technically one piece missing from the party composition. So people are speculating if it's gonna be just representative of you-know-who, or it's gonna be instead fully, about someone entirely new playable. But again,
Yeah.
only time will tell, because Square is, you know how Square is all about.
But this friend apparently hasn't finished the second part yet, so ow.
I mean, it's actually kind of interesting of someone genuinely experiencing the game for the first time, via that.
Yeah.
Also, yes, because we did not notice that when the trailer was released, they recasted the Sephiroth again, because apparently Tyler Hoechlin could not make it. I guess scheduling conflict. Like, what is he doing now? I wonder. And instead they got Travis Willingham, which is fine, but you can kind of tell the difference, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, something that from something that gets Shiroy excited to something that gets me excited.
What?
Yep.
In regards to the Xbox showcase,
What did we get?
we are getting a new Crazy Taxi game.
Yeah, with copious amounts of AI poured into it. Gen
Yep.
AI
Where are they using
specifically.
it exactly?
Apparently, the Sega's description on the Steam page is super vague as shit about quote-unquote supporting. So it could mean literally anything between, voice lines and background element to level composition. Like, I will say this to the SSMB, I would be so between mad and hysterical if they do the same thing for new Jet Set Radio, because the themes of that franchise are all about, against authority and expressing yourself with art. So, it would be extremely tone deaf.
I will say as well, I do agree with something I read earlier where it's like, if they announce a new Sonic game with Gen AI, people will be fighting in the streets.
Yeah. It's actually kind of interesting because the game that was mostly leaked recently was instead Jet Set Radio, and instead it was instead Crazy Taxi, the one announced. Again, unless Jet Set Radio gets announced somewhere else.
I'm hoping with it being somewhat independent that Toys for Bob don't use Gen AI for the Spyro game.
We shall see.
Because it is a hard deal breaker for me.
I don't know from which specific games Microsoft has already used them. I know that Bethesda so far has been fine. As far as I know, they haven't really used them for Doom the Dark Ages, but you never know.
Yeah.
Basically, now we need to, if you forgot, we need to actually enter the equivalent of the cathedral. But I need to pass through this guy first.
Without losing your head?
Yes, he literally has a giant axe. And I can summon someone in the meantime.
Right, well, we've got a whole year. We've got a whole year yet, anyway, for whether or not people are going to be, whether people are going to be fighting in the streets, or if they go walk Gen AI back, or
Yeah,
whatever
we
they end up
shall
doing.
see. Alright, so remember this guy that we noticed in the cathedral? Now that I got the skull of Master Lawrence, we're basically creating a paradox, because we have the skull of Lawrence, but that beast right there is Lawrence. So...
This is a prop now.
And of course it's in La Pietà pose, because, you know, artistic reference mostly gets traced back to Italian Renaissance painting. It's either, you know, the Sistine Chapel, or La Pietà, or the Pose. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's just another, you know, a palette swap of the first boss that we faced, one of the first bosses that we faced, the Cleric Beast, right? Well, yes, but these bosses are quite a few tricks up its sleeve. And quite a migraine too, I guess the lack of skull will that
You woke me up.
Basically.
Yeah, there are some other things as well that were announced at the Direct and otherwise. We're getting a remaster of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. Today I saw the new Masters of the Universe movie.
How was it? Jared Leto aside.
It was solid. And to be fair, Jared Leto, I think, was actually solid in the movie. It helps that I don't see his face, and that his voice is pitched down a lot.
Did they put, like, did they intentionally do that, or did they put a filter on him?
Guessing some filter was used.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I'll have to look up the behind the scenes. We're getting Tifa in Street Fighter 6.
Well, yeah, we did comment it on the Summer Game Fest thing.
Well, they might not have watched our...
Which is what they should do instead. Hashtag shameless plug.
There isn't a whole lot that I can think of. Oh, the new Gears of War game, Gears of War E-Day, is indeed Xbox exclusive.
Also on PC.
Yeah. But point is, console-wise, it's apparently not going anywhere else.
For now.
There's we've got announcements for there's a new Star Trek game coming out. Star Trek
team,
Outposts.
So it's probably gonna be more psychological.
They're still making content for Fallout 76.
Yeah, despite everything, it did manage to survive. Don't ask me how.
Okay, so one thing I swear has been happening a lot. We're getting a lot of games recently set in ancient China.
Oh yeah, because the Chinese market is actually, you know, boosting itself up in trying to make video games on their own, not just with the Miiverse initiative. It's both
we're getting a new Hellblade game that's just called Senua.
Yeah. It's both...
Senua? I don't know how you pronounce it.
I think Senua. It's both, you know, the Chinese market and also South Korea with, you know, stuff like Lies of P, Stellar Blade, of course. And there's also... Holy shit, I forgot how much damage this guy does. And there's the... forgot. There's basically this team who has done their own shared universe initiative, which includes a couple of games that are being very popular with streamers, like Library of Ruina, Limbus Company, and Lobotomy Corporation. which is all about basically these groups in a very dystopian kind of universe, and bad things happen to people all over the place.
And getting Join Us, aka Cult Simulator.
I mean, there are several already called simulators, so we'll have to see how this one differs.
And they've got some more stuff for Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah, DLC expansion.
We'll probably elaborate more on that at some point in the future. Among other things. So I think that's, in terms of things that interest me personally, I think that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I can confirm is that in terms of like the quality of the stream, some of it really must have just been up with the Summer Game Fest one, because the Xbox One ran fine.
And also the state of play, the day before like a few days before Summer Game Fest. I really know what happened with Geoff, because again, when we did the actual stream, it was laggy as fuck on the Twitch link at the very least. I don't know how.
Was the audio desynced for you guys as well?
Yes.
Okay. So I thought it was just my Wi-Fi, because sometimes it is, so I didn't say anything.
Specific sequences where the audio and video were completely desynced, and badly too.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even I could actually, do much to actually salvage it, unfortunately. As far as music boss themes for bosses are concerned, for this guy it's fine. This one for Lawrence, but again, not the most super impressive. It works for what he wants to do. One weak point particularly is the big arm, but because Lawrence swings it constantly, managing to hit it is not super optimal. Especially with the build-up that I have.
Lawrence, the first vicar.
If you forgot, lore-wise, this is the guy that abandoned Master William at Bergenworth in order to study the blood and believing that the old blood could be used in order to elevate people by drinking it. Little that he knew that instead will turn them into beasts, and he was actually the first to perish. Again, it is a doable fight, much better than the Orphan of Cause, but I'll need to work my kings on it. We have time anyway. I swear that I could summon someone else too for this fight, but I guess only one guy was available from the NPCs, I mean. I guess I can mention something that I saw at the showcase, not necessarily for being my favorite, but something that I noticed. Atlus continues to milk, the non-1-2 SMT Persona games for Moonlight. Now, to be fair, they also took the occasion to announce, a new one in the making, the 6th game, or the spin-off series, but who knows when that will come out, considering, the timing for the game making. And again, not that I particularly care to begin with. It's super green.
Yesterday, you ever noticed?
Well, it's super green in this case.
I think people were like predicting for years that this one would be the green one.
Also, for some recent leaks that have been happening too. Yeah.
Also, like, I don't really play RPGs like that anyway, but I am interested in like looking into this one a little bit because it's the first one being directed since Hashino left, so maybe it won't piss me off.
Yeah, who knows? It's kind of funny, Shiri, because I keep saying that 1 and 2, okay, not more 2 than 1. Apologies for if you hear some whooping sounds, someone has decided to just throw fireworks randomly. Anyway, 1 and 2 more in particular, pretty much lack all the negative components that 3, 4, and 5 have.
Yeah, I have heard that from like different people. So
like 2 in particular even allows you to have a gay romance if you want. It's not super spectacular, but for the time it was made, it actually wasn't too bad. Like, and yet Atlus keep refusing, acknowledging that at best you get like a Pilot Swap costume that references that, which is neat. I'll take it over nothing, but holy shit, guys! Let me beat Hitler in HD, please. Oh, sorry, I need to call it Führer. That's the official name for the updated version.
And like, I know, you can have queer people be terrible. Like, that's not an issue. It's an issue of every game he's directed.
Needs to have that gag.
Yeah, yes, needs to have it. It's like, it's not even just like a one-off thing. It is a repeated pattern of his, and that's why it makes me feel icky. I don't know about what's it called? Refantasia?
Yeah, Refantasia.
I don't know about that one because he did direct that, but I haven't looked at it, so that one I'm not including in this patch.
I haven't checked myself yet. Okay,
but like everything from Persona to Catherine is just there's always something he has to say, and it's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I'll mention that one thing I did play actually that removes something problematic.
Go on.
The new Hitman DLC came out, and it's basically a redo of the DLC where you fought Conor McGregor, but owing to his
misconduct. Yeah, I actually bothered to look in the meantime, and Jesus Christ, dude, it was like, why did they even hire him to begin with?
I guess I didn't do enough looking into things before they made the deal. But anyway, instead, they've remade it and replaced everything about McGregor with Wiz Khalifa, where the worst he's done is get a conviction in Romania for smoking cannabis on stage.
Okay, I guess it was kind of fitting that it was announced in the same conference where Snoop Dogg was present.
Yeah, and yeah, I've played it. Yeah, it is pretty much the same thing, also, except
the trailer seemed to imply that you can actually defeat him in a kickboxing match, and I'm like, is Agent 47 fit enough for that?
Yeah. And unlike the McGregor one, Wiz Khalifa's character is he's still a target you have to kill, but he's more humble, for lack of a better term. And he doesn't get brought back to life in a cutscene after you've beaten it.
That was weird.
Probably McGregor and his ego. But yeah, we got a new got new stuff for that, and they also released a little DLC pack where you could get stuff based off football because the World Cup's coming up, and then I guess Denmark's into their football.
Well, yeah, most European countries are. So.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but I've recently beaten the first Mega Man Battle Network game.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
How was it?
Yet.
It's solid. I mean, it was a early GBA game, so plot-wise, it's pretty basic, but it gets the job done.
It was also Capcom trying to take back the franchise to a relatively more kid-friendly, target audience, because between X, Zero, and Walnut, and Legends, the franchise had become not necessarily super, grimdark, but definitely more bleak with the more game passing. So they wanted to have something that balanced things out. And to be fair, Battle Network tends to get its own flavor of dark later on with the arrival of characters like Pharaoh Man or, Bass.exe. But, for the most part, instead, they definitely try to get the Medabot crowd, which was kind of the crazy in the early 2000s, thanks to stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh!
I thought I beat First Light today, but no, there's still a bit to go.
It ain't over until it's over. Like, does it have like a fake out end? Not necessarily a super fake out end, but does it give you the impression that it's over, but then it's like, psych?
Well, it's just more like you think it's over, but Bond being Bond feels a bit aggrieved at how it was going to end. So he decides to take matters into his own hands.
Oh, a bit similar to basically the setup that the ending of Honor Majesty's Secret Service puts on, which will be resolved, quality notwithstanding, in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah. I'll be interested when we get to Diamonds Are Forever, considering...
well, that was another December release, so if you want to reserve that for the Christmas peak, be my guest.
Perhaps, but I was also talking about the henchman in that.
I forgot which one is that.
Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd.
Oh, okay. When does Jaw first appears? I forgot.
Jaw's The Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay.
That's a few films away.
Yeah, we're still away. I forgot instead, what is the movie that explores the Louisiana country and has that on some
Live and Let Die.
Okay, which is also far away.
Yeah, well, that's the film that comes after Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh, so it's not too far away.
Yeah, I've got just a movie.
It also has one of my favorite Bond girls, Mayday. She was also in Conan the Destroyer for some
Mayday.
reason.
That's A View to a Kill.
Oh, I thought that was that movie, but whatever, my mistake.
Well, it's Grace Jones. She certainly makes an impact.
Mm-hmm. She was really cool, and from what I understand, also a good sport in filming around.
Well, I mean, Roger Moore didn't take kindly to her, apparently.
No, bummer.
Not sure. I've never been able to find out why, but
it may happen that sometimes actors just don't feel that much around each other, even beyond political reasoning or sexual scandals.
They just don't get. Yes, it's not like they're not all like what happened with Planet of the Apes 2001.
Yeah, for context for Shira and the audience, two major actors involved in it, Charlton Heston, because mythology got cameo, and T. Roth. They had very conflicting political idea behind it, more specifically about guns, but also political stuff, because Charlton Heston was the then president of the NRA, barf, while instead Tim Roth was strongly anti-gun sentiment. You wouldn't think, considering he usually plays very bad people, very bad guys, but he has surprisingly that kind of code of honor. However, in a shocking development, the two actors realized that for the purpose of actually filming, bickering on set would not have been productive, so they literally put politics aside and actually became good sport for the duration of the filming. That is almost unthinkable to this day, something like that.
Well, to be fair, if I was around someone whose views I heavily disagree with, I wouldn't want to spend any more time than I'd have to around them either.
No, me neither. Okay.
They're just trying to get that job done and leave.
It also depends on the specific kind of context. If it's specific about gun control, like in this case, considering it's a relatively minor, quote-unquote, kind of thing, especially for the time, I would be more, understanding. If it's something definitely more humanitarian, so someone that is, xenophobic or homophobic, I would definitely have more of an issue with, that's for sure. I would be more agreeing with this. Alright, second phase, Lawrence literally skipped leg day too much, so his lower torso burns off, and he's literally bleeding lava from the spine. Ouch. So you need to actually be careful, because if you actually get caught behind Lawrence, the floor is quite literally lava. And unfortunately he still does the swings, so I need to be careful. And unfortunately my NPC ally got defeated. He also can potentially screw fire like that. Yeah. So much lava, goddamn. Obviously, in case you're wondering, yeah, throwing Molotov cocktails does not really work in this case. You do pitiful amount of damage. Yeah, I need to be more careful.
Seen Disclosure Day next in the cinema.
Remind me what it's about.
It's a new Spielberg film, and it's about Emily Blunt's character being able to getting possessed by aliens during a weather report and talks in their language.
Huh. That's bizarre.
I'm guessing it's some sort of yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look it up a bit without spoiling myself.
Okay.
Yeah, sci-fi movie. Spielberg wrote the story. David Koepp wrote the screenplay. Yeah, I found the premise of it, but won't spoil everything.
Okay.
As a massive government conspiracy unravels, a targeted whistleblower races against time to bring about the extraordinary event that will change human history, the day of ultimate alien disclosure.
Uh-huh. I forgot, James. Have you ever seen instead the movie with Jodie Foster, Contact?
I don't think I have, no.
It's actually fairly interesting. It's definitely is someone trying to capture the feels that Spielberg had with, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but I think it's still fine.
So I'm curious as to how, because John Williams is doing the music again. He's 94, so
But he had retired officially.
I think he's still going to do Spielberg movies.
Oh, basically is contractually not obligated, but decided to just stick with him for his
Old
last
time's
role.
sake, I guess, like kind of thing.
Yeah, because he last did the score for The Fabelmans. It was Spielberg's previous movie.
Which is basically a sort of a biopic with a name file sealed, name filed off.
It will be the first Spielberg film I've seen in the cinema since Ready Player One.
I guess you haven't seen. Okay, remind me, Dave. Did the Gentle Giant version of Spielberg came out before?
BFG?
Yeah, did it came before or after Ready Player One?
I think before.
I think that was 2016, right?
Yeah, Ready Player One was, I think, 2018.
Fun fact, I don't think I ever mentioned that, and I honestly don't know if we ever gonna comment on that movie, but I actually, believe it or not, went to see that version of the BFG in theaters when it came out, because it was January.
I did too.
And it was a post-New Year's Eve movie, something that I did similar to Sonic 3. And while I was actually watching that after the movie was over, I tripped over the stairs of the cinema theater and actually, sprained an ankle.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
As they say in my country, that's, starting with the right foot, the new year.
So I guess, you watching a movie and hurting your ankle, that's like my version of I saw Ben-Hur and felt sick.
So, from a certain point of view.
I dread the day we do that.
You need to, okay, remind me, have you seen actually the original, please?
No.
Yeah, you definitely should do at least to palate cleanse yourself for that story.
I suppose.
It is definitely still a good story, and the reason why it was actually regarded as one of the masterpieces of the cinema history up until a certain point.
It's 212 minutes, though.
Yeah, it's a very, it's a chunky boy, basically. And to the point where, I don't know if it's referred like that also in English, but in my country it's quite literally defined as, quote-unquote, a colossal movie, spelled with a K.
Well, it's known as, on the posters for English at least, it says it's the entertainment experience of a lifetime.
I mean, I wouldn't call it entertainment in a sense that it's not a comedy, but it does keep you potentially entertained to an extent, yes, because there is intrigue, action, and drama.
It's got an intermission. It's got an intermission as well. So.
Yeah, a lot of movies back then did have it.
I wonder if it's ever been re-released.
I think so to an extent. The chariot race is super iconic. Again, that's the thing that George Lucas wanted to reference with the pod racing in Star Wars Episode 1, because that chariot racing, the original Ben-Hur, is basically one of the more iconic, action set pieces of old cinema. It's also basically how the villain of the movie is defeated. You don't get a epic sword duel, but instead it's a confrontation in a sport event, basically.
Yeah, I just found a version that says how long it is in hours. 3 hours, 42 minutes, 20. How are we going to do a commentary of that?
Like usual, just finding the time.
Yeah, maybe if we started in mid-afternoon. I could order a food delivery, it would get here and the film would not even be halfway done. Okay, I think, okay, Mr. Playable character, I think I know the reason you're dying so much. You have a cone on your head and you can't see.
I think we already did this joke, please.
You gotta put eye holes in that thing.
Yeah, well, that's a bit, it bears repeating. The guy keeps dying all the time. It's
now.
like, for fuck's sake, man. Get the hint. Who's screaming?
It's the beast.
In terms of game releases for the rest of this year. What is
GTA 7 is supposed to still come out early October.
6, you mean?
GTA 6, my bad. It's still supposed to come out the beginning of October. I'll believe it when I see it. Surprised that by the time we're doing this recording, it hasn't received a new trailer. You'll think that it will do with the summer season, maybe on PC Gaming Show or somewhere else. Who knows?
So,
like a
let's see.
ton of things are coming out in end of September, early October. To the point
Let's
where
see, April.
I don't know what's actually coming out in the Christmas season, to be honest.
Tetris the Grandmaster.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
It's Tetris. Like, I'm not expecting Shakespeare.
You never know. Getting Shakespeare out of Tetris.
I mean, okay, there was that breakout PS1 video game that had a surprisingly, competent plot. Again, not Shakespearean, but definitely. Holy fuck.
Oh yeah, there is the Star Fox.
Yeah. It definitely is.
Which is it's going to be another remake of Violet Wars.
Like, again, Nintendo.
I mean, this is an all-European stream, so...
This is the 5th time you presented the Violet Wars.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. What else? Whole World, no.
Besides, that's the quote-unquote official release. The game is already present, just via early access.
Pretty sure Shira will be looking forward to Splatoon Raiders.
Yes.
There's that Marvel game, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls.
More like Tokon these nuts. Oh.
The second volume of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection.
Yeah, aka we're finally having Metal Gear Solid 4 get out of the PS3 jail.
Yay. Along with Peace Walker, and
Yeah.
Ghost and AKA in Europe, Metal Gear Solid.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Konami Europe.
It's so arbitrary. I really don't understand when they do that.
Trick people into thinking it's a
Port, like,
remake of
or a port
Metal
of
Gear
the
Solid.
NES version. I don't know.
There's a Halloween game.
Yeah, not that I particularly care.
Marvel's Wolverine. Lego Batman. I think Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. That's already out.
Yeah, so the Switch. I think it's the Switch version, Switch 2.
Switch 2.
Which will come later.
Silent Hill Townfall.
Yeah, Bruges, Silent Hill. Instead of actually, waiting in order, the monster will actually ask you about war.
Rayman Legends Retold.
Yeah, sure, it'll be something.
Yeah. Ace Combat 8. Not gonna lie, I am curious about that one.
I mean, it's Ace Combat, you need to really work your way to fuck that up. Assault Horizon knows a thing or two about that.
Gears of War E-Day, Star Wars Galactic Racer, and the the Toy Story Retro Roundup / Toy Story 3 Complete Edition.
Which I'm getting.
I'll probably get it as well, even though I've technically got 2 of the games.
Well, apparently the if I recall correctly, forgot, was Toy Story 3 available via retrocompatibility for the PS3?
No, the PSP version,
which really doesn't mean much. Yeah, you might as well try for that because apparently it really includes the PS3 DLC stuff,
Oh, and it also includes a bug, plus a Bug's Life.
Again, talking about the games that are just tacked on in the collection.
Yeah, featuring Flick from the A Bug's Life series. Yeah, the Godzilla one I mentioned earlier. The next Digital Eclipse compilation, Barbie Rewind.
What?
Yeah, they're making a Barbie compilation.
Why?
Including Barbie Race and Ride.
Oh my god, they really
the dreadful looking horse game.
I forgot if I ever told on commentary, but I actually had that game, believe it or not. Because
I did play it whenever I went to one of my cousin's houses when I was younger.
Actually, my parents got that for my sister because haha, girl stuff, so she wants a Barbie game like Lamau, and it was kind of dreadful. Like
it's literally just a plastic fake looking horse riding in front of terrible green screen looking environments.
And where everything is written in Comic Sans. Why?
And with a terrible soundtrack.
Yeah, the generic media. No! Fuck!
Yeah, the soundtrack is so bad. That's what's causing this individual's pain. That's why they're screaming. They got the music on a loop for all eternity.
Yeah, that's what hell actually feels like, having to watch horrible CGI models with a terrible, MIDI music, and all writing is in Comic Sans. So
that's the very definition of hell. I've also played a bit of Donkey Kong 64. Now it's on.
For what I understand,
now it's on Switch Online.
Not a super great emulation, but it's better than the Wii U, emulated version.
I can play it.
How's the game like itself?
It's again, I can play it enough. I am a bit lost at the moment in the bit where you go into the rainy sea.
It's a collectathon that really demands a lot of your patience and time.
Yeah, but hey, you can play it in widescreen.
You can play as, Funky Kong. No, sorry, not Funky Kong, but Lanky Kong instead. My favorite.
Yeah, and then you can play as Chunky, and he's not dead.
Surprisingly.
But yeah, in terms of games for 2026, that's about it. So, because I mentioned the games that are coming out later this year, there was Splatoon Raiders.
Yes, coming out in July.
Yeah, it's just shame we're not getting Splatoon Raider.
I'm excited for it.
That's just a single player one, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. With co-op, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Shiori, did you play, when you were younger, did you play any of the Toy Story or any other Pixar PS1 game?
I didn't own any of the Toy Story ones. I played them at friends' houses, but I grew up on licensed games, so I played a few of them. Most notably, the Bugs Life one.
Are you gonna get the Toy Story Retro Roundup?
Possibly, yeah. I did see that a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and I love how just tacked on the Bugs Life thing is.
I guess they really couldn't put anything else in terms of being tacked on because there's.
Oh wait,
Can't wait to-
that's included in that?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh.
Specifically, the Game Boy Color and PS1 versions.
Mostly because I
So I
guess
can't
it's
wait
like
to-
the only two
I can't
games
wait
made
to-
about that. So.
Yeah, so I can't wait to feel like George Wood and struggle with that, planting that seed to make a platform bit.
Oh god. I mean, I'll get it then. Yeah.
It's out in October.
Yes, the most Halloween game.
Oh, I'm very. October's a very heavy month for me. I'm probably
October
not.
15th, to be precise.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna wait for that one.
I mean, just put it in your wish list and maybe
Put it in your
arrive as
wish
a
list or
Christmas
something.
gift or something, yeah.
Well, I'm probably just going to get it on. I mean, it's not a. Oh yeah, it's getting a PC release, but I prefer to get it on console.
I'm definitely getting that since it's more, convenient for me.
Got a load of stuff. You even got a music player.
Interviews.
You can even listen to uncompressed versions of the first Toy Story game's music.
Including the best ones on the Game Boy Color,
That's actually Tio. Actually, no way. Yeah, it is. Toy Story's
is included.
thing is good. Oh
for
god.
some
With
reason.
can you please tell me you get to play it with the green background so I can play Toy Mold
I would
Story?
like to remind that Digital Eclipse had the decency of not including the Game Boy Color version of Mortal Kombat 4 in the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection because they understood how shite that game was, and yet here they are with the Game Boy Color version of.
Tio, you say that, Tio. Yet they put in Mortal Kombat Special Forces
And advanced to some extent.
Yeah, yeah. I've played a bit of Special
Mind you,
Forces. It's
Lives,
boring.
it's better than the Game Boy Color version of MK4. Trust me.
I'm going to be dying a lot in this game.
Well, again, I need to remind you, Lives, that the tagline for the very first Dark Souls game was called "Prepare to Die," and the complete edition was called the "Prepare to Die" edition. You even
Prepare to die. Oh, I won't buy the game then. Thank
you do get also a trophy achievement in the second game, Dark Souls 2, the first time you die. It's really called Welcome to Dark Souls. Anyway, let's go. Actually, hold on. Before I'm going to talk to Gehrman, I need to do something specific because I will use the credits to talk about the lore of the game to put the pieces together. Remember those lovely thirds of umbilical cord that we collected? Let's eat them, shall we? Technically they give you 3 points of insight, but they also require for something about the ending. There you go. So yeah, here's the new area of the nightmare, the Hunter's Dream, which is a callback possibly to MGS3. It's a field full of white flowers. Let not it be said that, From Software doesn't fill with the atmosphere with this game, because holy shit, this is so cool. So yeah, let's talk to Gehrman.
Good hunter.
Like, I think even with bias aside, this is my favorite aesthetically so far.
I guess the Victorian London is more up to your,
I like old buildings; just look really cool.
Forget the dream.
So yeah, Gehrman is like, you did a good job defeating the necromancies. You're a good champ, and I like you. You're a nice guy. So since dawn is breaking, I offer you a solution. If I kill you right here, right now, if you submit to me, you'll just wake up willy-nilly, in the waking sun of the city, as if nothing ever happened, and you will be free to go as a bird. But you know what, and you can do that, you get one of the endings, but you know what, we have come this far, so, fuck that. And here's the oh shit is about to get serious moment. If you actually refuse Gehrman, it's not like he's angry, just disappointed technically. He ponders what caused
It's worse.
It does ponder, how you compel this issue. But here's the thing. He steps up from the chair. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, he was faking this ability the whole time? No, don't worry about that, because if you look at his model in other angles, he also has a peg leg. So it's more of a case that he cannot really consume that much energy and he's just reserving this moment just to teach you a lesson. So yeah, your real, quote-unquote, final boss is Gehrman, the First Hunter.
Our final boss is what would happen to Professor Layton if he aged horrendously.
And decided to have a scythe.
I love choices. You can have me kill you, or you can have me kill you.
Well, yeah, it's like being killed in a cutscene, or, being killed in battle if you want.
Can we just run into the burning house? That would kill us.
That's not how it works, Dweebs. But yeah, I will explain also this. If you actually submit, again, that will mean that Murgo's wet nurse was the final boss at the end of the day. And basically what Gehrman told you actually does happen. You do wake up in, in Yarnam as the rising sun is happening. But that's kinda it. It really feels you a bit empty, like there was supposed to be more or anything. And although it's worth noting that in true From Software tradition, it's not like any of the endings are considered good or bad. To quote Marge Simpson, it's an ending, But we'll have to see actually what happens if we manage to beat Gehrman instead. And I have to say, he actually does not disappoint with his own boss theme.
I feel like most people are going to pick the option that leads to this, though, considering everything up to this point.
If you're a completionist, you kinda have to eventually do it because each ending is assigned to a trophy. Now, with a bit of saves coming, you can actually, keep the save file of this moment and actually try all 3 endings on your own. But unfortunately, I not only was not prepared, I wanted this run to be more genuine, still affected by our choices and all. The thing about Gehrman, unfortunately, is because he's considered a PvP-like boss, so he's still susceptible to an extent to flinching by our attacks. What is he doing? I forgot this attack. Oh, it
he's yeah, he's gonna do that. Oh yeah, something else I did recently.
No.
I went to the Gladiators experience.
What is it? What is it actually, Williams?
It's based on the hit UK show Gladiators, based on the American version, where you basically go for. It's basically a competition where you play various games where there's all sorts. You hit your opponents with a pugil stick, try and climb up a wall, race, for either just a straight up race or on an obstacle course called the Eliminator. And I went on those.
So
Was it fun?
Yeah, how it was.
Yeah, it was fun. Knackering, and my muscles ached afterwards, but
I think
fun.
that's kind of the point, Williams.
I watched that show so much as a kid.
Yeah, I did the Eliminator first, and it's really difficult. They had to slow down the Travelator at the end for me, just so I could get up the thing. Every time as soon as I stepped 1 foot on it, I just slid all the way back down.
If you noticed, one of the attacks that Gehrman can actually do is to fire his blunderbuss, that he has is a portable one, and if it actually stuns you, you're actually in potentially to be flinched, and he actually can do a grab attack. You need to be actually very careful about that one. But as you can see, even compared to the other bosses, he's still fairly doable. As you can see, it takes his sweet ass time to attack you, and they're
he's old.
Very telegraphed. To be fair, yes, but there's potentially also more to it. There you go. That's the end of Gehrman, the first hunter. Now, normally, after defeating him, you get the Old Hunter badge, which allows you to get his equipment, and you would be getting the second ending, which is considered like the mid one, where this thing shows up, the Moon Presence, another Eldritch entity, which is Pale Blood, the thing we have been seeking the entire time. Now, normally, it will just happen this, you get entranced by the Moon Presence, and you get basically enticed by it, and you become the next Gehrman, complete with you on a wheelchair. However, because we actually had consumed the 3 umbilical cords, we actually resist the influence of this Eldritch Abomination, so the true final boss is this thing.
Oh. Lovely, we're facing basically Medusa, but without the powers.
It's worth noting that if you die in this fight, you only have to start from, the Moon Presence. You don't have to fight Gehrman again.
I thought you were gonna say if we lose the fight, we can never play the game again.
No, Lives. I already
You
told
die
you
in the dream.
Yeah, you die IRL.
Yeah, sorry. But is that what the Prepare to Die edition does? You die once and that's it.
No, because the entire point of the game, Dreams, is the philosophy of getting good, as in, learning the attack patterns and adapting.
Well, hey, die once and that's it. That'll teach you to get good.
I mean, to be fair,
Yes, a Dark Souls roguelike.
there are some games that actually do have a mode, not necessarily a mode similar to that, but something akin to that. Most notably, Batman Arkham Origins with the One Night Terror mode, or whatever the fuck it's called, where you need to do the entire game with very limited amount of saves, and if you die once, it's game over. You have to basically start from the beginning.
Because people love doing challenges and such, and especially since this one has been bleeding from Pokemon into more games. Is a Nuzlocke for this kind of series possible?
For this specific, not really. Nuzlocke really works mostly for collectible Mon games, so theoretically something more like akin to Shin Megami Tensei, maybe. But it's worth noting that I forgot about this. It's worth noting that there is a mod for Dark Souls 3. I forgot if we talked about it when we did it, but there's a mod for Dark Souls 3 which does turn into a creature capture game. It's a bit wonky in terms of mechanic, but surprisingly it works.
There's a mod like that currently.
This is reading what it says.
No. There's a mod like that currently in development for Deltarune, and it works pretty decently too.
Wait, what happens if we kill the Moon Presence? Do we destroy the moon?
Well, that's what we're about to find out, Lives. It's not Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you attack the moon directly. Although it's kind of funny, the Fear and Hunger games do possess one of their, god-like entity that is literally the moon. In the first Fear and Hunger, this entity does not play a particular big role, mostly because you're stuck in a dungeon the entire time, so it's a bit difficult for that entity to reach you. But in the second game, Termina, it's actually more integral, but I will not say much because at least part of it is spoiled. I want with a game that really kicks you over and over, that will be here the Fear and Hunger duology. Termina is actually more, Termina is actually more charitable towards you, but the first one is definitely old school in how merciless it is, particularly about its RNG. But nevertheless, it made it appealable. It made it appealing thanks to its aesthetic and plot, which would definitely take inspiration from stuff like Berserk.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Moon Presence. Can we try that again?
point. There is a particular reason why consuming the free umbilical, third of umbilical cords as the moon presence attack you, you know, instead of just potentially ignoring you like it has done for most of the game.
Big roll.
When the moon presence does that big, you know, that super scale attack that reduces your HP to 1, you don't need to panic because, you know, it's just a case of reducing your HP to 1, but to compensate that gets stunned, you know, quite a lot in this case. So you can just waltz around and smack the moon presence for a while in order to get your HP back thanks to the, you know, system that normally allows you to regain your health. You can remember when you need to dodge on the left or the right instead of backward. Fuck.
Monocular used to view things up close. Not a hunter's tool, but a simple antique to be used as one sees fit.
It's similar to the binocular from the previous games, but it's more fancy.
By Jove!
I say, old bean. Because remember, these were in Victorian London equivalent, except again, the Arnamites are, you know, even more, you know, assholes towards outsiders than the average British countryside. Forgot if I think I did post it, that there's this image that is a small edit of the promotional poster. There's the protagonist, the Good Hunter, with two bags, one from Tesco and the other from another British, you know, store chain. Again, this whole thing was just about the survival in an exercise in surviving one night in the UK.
That sounds like a game we can play in hard mode.
What do you mean weapon at risk?
I mean, we have to survive living in the UK.
This creature is very cool, though.
I guess you can imagine it's not super, you know, easy for you to spot considering it constantly moves around, but it has the whole thing about a spinal cord, you get to see also all the ribs.
Yeah, that's fine. It kind of just blends into the trees, though, so yeah, this is, like...
There are some PNGs floating around, so you'll be able to see. Alright, Waves, I guess in the meantime, one other thing to that is what upcoming movies are you going to see?
I'm probably going to be seeing Supergirl.
When it's supposed to come out?
The end of July, I think.
Okay. What is instead the Lanterns TV series supposed to be released?
Not sure.
The No Country for Old Lantern series. I also wonder, is Peacemaker getting a new season eventually?
Not sure. I mean, I have got the first series on the play, but
I don't remember if the second one is, you know, concludes definitely for the capture or not.
So let's see. At the moment, I can't see Peacemaker Blu-ray for season 2.
I guess with HBO Max coming to Europe, it's probably available there.
Possibly. I mean, I'm probably going to be getting the, in terms of Blu-ray releases of films, I'm probably going to get the release of the Mortal Kombat duology.
The Lawrence Casanova, okay, no, Lawrence Casanova was just the producer, you know, the...
Remember, he co-wrote the story for Annihilation.
Right. What is he even doing these days, I wonder?
Getting executive producer credits for the newer ones.
Yeah, fair enough. Was he still involved in the Tetris movie that eventually got made?
No.
Okay.
Remember, that Tetris movie ended up just being like a
biopic of the creation of the game,
of the making of it, yeah.
But I thought he was still involved.
No. Thank God.
But what about Food Fight 2?
That probably got re-released in Animation Hell where it belongs.
Alright, we're done with the game because the Moon Presence just decided to sign its death penalty.
No.
There you go.
Hey.
So, what happens if the Basil Hunteo manages to surpass the impossible and kill, well, not a god, but an eldritch presence such as the Moon Presence? We cut to a bit later with the fire subsiding. And your hunter,
Are you cool?
for your light Shiri, turns into a young Eldritch Abomination themselves. So, a squid.
Oh.
The secret origin of the dark reboot of Splatoon.
My God, this is Splatoon all along.
So we're the doll's pet now.
Basically, until we grow enough. It's left vague if we're gonna be the next Moon Presence instead of being the next Gehrman, but otherwise, that is, which is Bloodborne, directed by,
Can you at
of
least
course,
put us in a tank? Like...
I'm sure we're gonna be fine. There's enough.
So, wait.
There's enough fog around that you know, the moisturizing will happen normally.
So wait,
Sure.
after all that, we get turned into an octopus.
Yes.
That's you have to
Lame.
understand, Waves, that usual Lovecraftian stories tend to have similar endings of not necessarily anticlimax, but your characters, even when accomplishing big things, not having the sense of catharsis that you will expect from conventional storytelling. Usually they go mad for the revelation, not manage to accomplish what they wanted, or, you know, succumb to their own temptation and become entranced by the eldritch truth that they are witnessing. Anyway,
I'm not too surprised that there's stuff involved, pessimistic stuff like that, considering he was a piece of shit.
yeah, well, to be fair, Graves, as people, I recommend you to watch the overly sarcastic production video that talks about it, because you are more on point than you think so, because a lot of these books derive from different phobias. Some more, you know, lame, like actual xenophobia, but others more stupid, like his fear of air conditioners of all things.
What are the air conditioners gonna do? Poison the water supply?
I don't remember what the name of the story that I want to tell you is, but there's this story about a guy which has a fancy new air conditioner for the time, early 1900s, and the protagonist gets to witness, and he feels very strange that this guy will keep it over and over. And basically the twist is that the guy with the air conditioner had been dead for a while, and the air conditioner served to actually keep the temperature cold enough to sustain him in a state of undead. Anyway, more on point, let me talk briefly about the lore, in case you need to have the pieces put together. What is today the city of Yharnam? there was a civilization called the Tumerian civilization. These people performed blood sacrifices left and right, and particularly they were sacrificing the firstborn of their queens. On one such occasion, they actually came into contact with eldritch beings, which granted them the opportunity to use blood to and eyes to ascend to higher planes of existence, and some of them, did to become, elder gods themselves. A few centuries later, the scholars of Bergenworth, digging through the underground of Gehrman, did found this concept, but misinterpreted as just a consumption of blood, which they did so in order to possibly ascend themselves, but the thing spiraled out of control and created the beast. So the Healing Church, in turn, created the Knights of the Hunt, which allows the group specialized of the hunter, led by Gehrman, in order to hunt the beast for one night and then, cleanse things together by the morning. But the hunt become more and more deprived and messy with each passing time. Gehrman eventually doesn't necessarily die, but gets put into this limbo state of the Hunter's Dream, which is based around the workshop that he used to have. And in case you're wondering, yes, the doll is fashioned deliberately about Lady Maria, with possibly bad implications about him lusting for her, which, uh, doesn't leave much to the imagination. And that's where we come in. We're an outsider that just decide to seek thrill, forge the contract, and then we're thrust into one such night where we were basically tasked to kill eventually the Nightmare Mensis, which was, altering things too drastically and help cleaning up a bit the place. But thanks to our action, we can potentially just limit ourselves to do that and let the cycle continue, take the place of Gehrman, or become an Elder God ourselves. That's pretty much it. Like I said during the early parts, this originally was supposed to be a direct sequel to Demon's Souls, and unfortunately that didn't happen, and the plot was hastily rewritten at the last second, kinda, sorta, which is kind of a shame because I kinda like the idea of an evolution, considering how Demon's Souls is more traditionally medieval, based in its own right, but what can you do about it? But that's basically it. If you have any more questions about the lore, feel free to ask, but otherwise, Dweebs, your final thoughts, please.
Well, I mean, it was a decent enough game. It's just the ending was a bit off. I mean, the end of it, after all the struggles we go through, we just get octopied, and that's it. Game over. For a PS4 game, it looks really, really good. Yeah, minus the okay. We played the PC version or the PS4.
Only PS4 Dweebs. The game, I think I mentioned in recent times, the game is now technically better to be emulated, but, since we already started with this, might as well just keep going with this.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it does look good. All the actors involved are solid. I didn't really notice the music too much, to be honest. One of those games where it's just kind of in the background compared to everything else. I mean, that doesn't look but a load of the when you're fighting a boss, a lot of the sound effects and voice clips and those are loud.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really hear the music too much. Yeah, aside from that, it was fine. Again, I could do without the ending, but
I can
everything
assure you
else
the
at
other
least held
endings
it
were
up a
not
little bit.
particularly different in terms of, catharsis.
Well, what are the other endings? And one just gets shot.
I already told you, one Gehrman kills you, and you wake up in Yarnam in the day after. That's it.
Mm.
And in the other, the Moon Presence enslaves you, and you become Gehrman on the wheelchair.
Huh. Yeah, that's. I'm done anyway.
Here, what about you?
I actually quite like this one. I think, like, the ending does seem pretty, like, not abrupt, but I guess straightforward. But the game has been pretty level, in that department. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, I guess the Dark Souls games are a bit more, like, grand isn't the right word, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah, in scale and such. I like the tone of this one quite a bit. Talked about the aesthetics enough. quite a few of the songs are good since I actually get to hear them this time. I also really like that credit theme. I like music boxes and anything akin to that, so that's nice. Yeah, this is probably my favorite of the series so far. I really like this one.
Alright, that's for
I
me.
think that's it for me.
Yeah, alright, that's for me. I still like this one, but I think it definitely starts to show its age because the accelerated performance of which I'm not really used anymore to the 30 FPS, look and a lot of rough things around the edges. You can tell this was in the early years of the PS4. This is still relatively, solid as a game. It definitely has, the fun component and something to differentiate itself from the other Dark Souls titles in order to still be its own kind of beast. No pun intended. The plot is fine, a bit too simple, and as I showcased, the dungeons, the game itself is not super long. It's more of a case of you taking your time to explore, but otherwise it's technically shorter than the other Dark Souls titles, even the first one, when you get down to it, mostly because I wanted to refine the tech for the console generation, which is something that can be said because, again, on the same console generation, a beast like Elden Ring, which is massive in scope, will still manage to run with the same kind of performance, which says a lot about the team progressing through their tech, savviness. I like the voice acting, the music is fine. I still miss Motoi Sakuraba to an extent, but these pieces definitely do compensate on the matter in order to give the more Victorian horror type of, plot. Other than that, there's not much more I can add. This is not a game that I replayed that much compared to the other Dark Souls games, but it still manages to be fine in its own cosmology. Uh, Funny enough, I don't think we mentioned that. At some point, Bluepoint did want to make a remake of this similar to Demon's Souls, but apparently Sony wanted to ask specifically the Taka Miyazaki permission in this case to do it, and Taka Miyazaki was like, "No, I'd rather not if possible." And
Yeah.
that's
I mean, that's
actually
fair.
yeah. It's sadly, unfortunately, apparently is partially what led to ultimately Bluepoint's closure, but let's not forget that part of that was also Sony wanting to relocate them in order to make a game as a service God of War title. So,
And we
uh,
all know how that went.
bad management is still a thing they need to consider. But that's kind of it. So, that's it for Bloodborne. And possibly the end for a while because next time, with Basil Hunteo becoming, an eldritch entity on his own, we focus now our attention on the lines between a squabble between family members, the shattering of a golden order, and another outsider looking potentially to mend something that is called the Elden Ring. So see you for
Sweet.
that.
See ya.